Okay. I think we're live. Yeah, there we go. We're live now. I think we should play the intro. Oh, hey guys. Yeah, just playing. Yeah, so we'll play the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I have a really fascinating guest with me today. This is maybe but the fourth or fifth time she's been on my show. I have with me the amazing YssaH. You might have seen her together with Sean Bond. They're partners. They do esoteric research and they open up people's abundance and their fields and tap into like higher consciousness and she's amazing and. So for the people that know YssaH, and I'll let her introduce herself so she could probably explain a little bit better. But YssaH, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
I'm doing great, Rob. Thank you. Thank you for having me once more. More than glad about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like people are really excited about this because a couple people have donated already. So yeah, I guess we'll be doing kind of like readings at some point tonight, guys. Too, we'll be doing like Christy, I got your donation, yeah, and we'll get to that. But I think YssaH wants to cover some stuff first before we get into that. Yeah, but is that kind of how you wanted to do it tonight?
Yeah. However it flows, it's also we are here for the people, for like the beautiful and amazing beings and colleagues joining us. So whatever they want also to go through and to approach, I'm more than open to that. The topics that I want just to cover a little bit is, as you were saying in the title, the restoration to the primordial matrix. And I just want to explain a little bit more about that, because once you restore yourself to the primordial matrix, then everything that you have been trying to manifest and which has taken perhaps a while, it is easier to manifest because you're not dealing with the interference of the artificial matrix. Let's say that you are removing your code bar tag, and then you are actually embodying and activating the true blueprint that you have as a multidimensional being, and which normally is put into dormant state after the code bar is imprinted in you, in your holographic vessel. So first of all, what is the primordial matrix? Because we listen to this word matrix and immediately the movie Matrix comes to our minds. So matrix is any packed up information that is so complex in its configuration at a quantum level that it creates a reality. It creates a story, it creates a novel. So, for instance, let's say in the womb of our mothers, when we were in that process of gestation, we were incubated in our mother's womb. So we're going through a whole reality while being there inside the womb until we are ready to actually go through that stargate, which is the birth canal, and come to this reality. So there are infinite matrices and submatrices. And when we talk about, for instance, this artificial matrix, how I call it, it is a matrix that was created after the last cataclysm to compensate the loss and the fissures that were generated in the primordial matrix, which is the one that was before the cataclysm. That matrix where the field of a unified consciousness was more feasible, was actually attainable, and was experienced. And that due to an acceleration in the process of evolution, because the frequency was so high, that then it wanted to speed up even more. So then it collapsed. It collapsed through very specific artifacts, Merkabahs that were placed all over the earth. So that created a fissure in the, let's say, holographic vessel that contains the reality here in Earth. So then an artificial matrix needed to be created to go through that process. So the primordial matrix could go through the process of regenerating itself, and then merge into realities as what is happening right now, breaching into timelines, spatiotemporal constants, and going through that process of evolution from 3D to 5D through 4D, which is the dimension of the where the mastery of time is achieved, what we know as time, because we start not only, we go beyond only being um, observers of our own reality and active onto a small percentage. We start to actually travel through through that interdimensional field, through those spatiotemporal constants, and start to choose those timelines, as how we know them, that are the most profitable for us to embody. Even though there is a core timeline, the branches that come from that core timeline are the ones that we get actually to choose to make stronger or to weaken, just as the very same brain functions, you know. um, because even in our brain, how our memory works, it is all based on, like, the strongest link, like the strongest link prevails, the alpha one. Well, that also happens in our brains, in between the neurons. The memories that actually we get to entangle with the most are the ones that are emitting a stronger frequency. So when we know that, we can actually give the command and put all the energy that is required to the memories that we choose to remember, and therefore make them as the pillars of our own construction, you know, and all that we can achieve through the holographic field and at a quantum level, for sure.
Wow, that's fascinating. And then do you think that we all have like blockers that like block us from abundance as well, like Sean says?
Well, imagine that how I see it, and yes, I agree. And how I see it is like there is a main and thick core, let's say, layer that was implanted in all human beings, which is an attachment to the economical system, as how we have known it for thousands of years. So imagine that you come to this reality, and before coming through that stargate, that birth canal, you need to inhabit, your soul needs to fill in a holographic body. That holographic body is the blueprint for every human. And in that holographic vessel, very specific algorithms were implanted to create certain dependence to those egregores that are harvesting control or control systems, so
Yeah.
first of all, it's detaching as like you from those egregores by removing those anchors in your holographic vessel, and you can mostly see it through the depth of life. It's like you owe your mom and your dad for being in this planet. You owe all the systems, all the institutions to be here, embodying and occupying a space, occupying a land, occupying a house, occupying a job, and you need to pay. So it's a program that is based precisely on the depth of life. Like, as you're here, then you need to compensate your stay here. But that's an illusion. And where it harvests from is from one of the primordial configurations that was done precisely in the holographic vessel, which is what we know as the original sin. Because, and we could extend, like, because we know how, for instance, sin, the word sin, its etymology, which is quite connected to the Sumerian and to Kemetic, which is ancient Egyptian. Sin means moon. So it's the
Oh,
origin.
that's. I was going to say that in the Anunnaki, Enlil's son was named Nanar Sin, and he was the moon god. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. So then you can ask yourself, how is the moon involved here in the original sin? What does then original moon means? And the original moon means before it was placed as an artificial satellite. Actually, I mean, I will really, I could move forward a lot of information regarding to the moon. However, I'm going to route it precisely to the prosperity and abundance. So, for instance, when we talk about the moon and how it controls the water within our bodies, like all the molecular structure of water are directly entangled in a magnetic way to the moon frequency. So, what's the word for money? Another word, currency,
Yeah.
current. And what is the current is also the flow of the water, the water flow. So we can master actually that. We can master the frequency of the moon on behalf of our, to be the best version of ourselves, because we know, for instance, that money it has a spirit, and also it has been doomed big time. So also a big imprint on money has been put, that like if it was dirty. So also, in order to detach from that egregor, is to connect with the spirit of the money. And the spirit of the money is the currency. It's water. It's what gets you somewhere. It's what allows you to flow in a very specific form in this reality. So for instance, if you say, okay, so the moon and the original sin. So the original sin mainly refers to the fact that Eve touched the tree of knowledge and then offered the fruit to Adam. And again, just relating it to this, to the abundance and prosperity. When we talk about the fruit, what is fruit? Fruit is the torus, like the apple is the torus. And that's infinite
Okay.
energy. That is infinite energy. It is illimited. However, as the fruit was taken, and this is what I was talking about, the holographic configuration in the human vessel. Imagine that you wear right now some glasses. And those glasses, you will use them to scan, to scan the bodies of different people. Don't worry, you will see just the whole at a holographic level. You won't see anything else. So now, when you're going through those, so now imagine that you are scanning everything, and you will see that there are black holes like the sun, black spots. In comparison to the black sun, where those black spots are vortexes, as nobody talked to us about that, it is missing information. which is dormant. But for the consciousness, it is missing. Like you have a gap, like in memory. So when you acknowledge that you need to awaken those parts in your body, in your holographic vessel that were put into dormant state due to the fact that we accessed to the knowledge. When that happened, it was like, no, 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 wait. They will be like us. That is not an option. So then they started to cut out potential. And more than cutting out, put into dormant state. So imagine that you are just seeing the surface layer of your reality, and you can say, the egregors, all these entanglements, attachments, pam, pam, pam. Wow, this is crazy. However, that's just a test. You need to acknowledge that all of that is an illusion to prove yourself ready to go into the deeper layer. Because the deeper layer can only be accessed through the heart vortex. And we can even go at a quantum level with this explanation because it might sound very spiritual and mystic due to the words that I am using as the heart and so forth, and at the Adam and Eve. However, if we take it at a quantum level, I can explain to you that the heart vortex is the main vortex that we have in our body. So it is the one that will be unfolding as a wave of distribution through all those aspects that or gaps that are present in our inner sun. So as I have mentioned, like there are different layers of the disconnection of human with their abundance. Another one, which is a daily life, like addressing to each one of them. So what do I suggest? For instance, when it comes to feeling in your hologram, it is routing yourself to the primordial matrix, your ego. That is fundamental. Imagine that as the movie Matrix again, we have like different hoses coming from our body at an energetic level. So for me, there are three main ones, and they are related precisely to the dantians, the one located in the third eye, the one located in the heart, and the one located in the navel, which is in the belly button. So the main one that they have created entanglements with is in the navel one. Why? Because it is your will. It's your sun, it's your solar plexus. So if you don't have will, what can you achieve? And there is many people that is going over, like doing, and they have their will and they say, but I am doing everything. So then what's happening? And because it's important to detach that dantian from the artificial matrix. Because imagine that hose that is connected to that cube, to that black cube, that it keeps on imprinting through your neural vessels, through your energetic conductors to your circuitry, all the information and limitations that were imprinted in the artificial matrix. So once you remove it, that cordon, to say it somehow, and you route it again, that huge wormhole to the primordial matrix, you're starting to awaken within you, the information that places you right before the cataclysm, where all the reality was abundance, was vast, there was a unified consciousness, and so forth. So
Wow.
yeah.
So that's the importance of connecting to the primordial matrix. That's interesting. Like, And why do they keep this hidden from us? And most people never even get to figure this stuff out. It seems like, right?
Well, the thing is that, let's say, as how I perceive it and as how I remember it, is the information has always been out there. Even the very same artificial matrix is telling you everything. However, they had put such a thick interferential wave through technology that generates so much distraction that it's very hard to stay focused for most of the people, so, and actually connect with the inner truth. It's somehow losing yourself in the information instead of finding yourself within the information. And the difference, as how I see it, is how we find ourselves within the information is when we listen to our own truth. But that truth that goes beyond, again, those imprints that make you believe that it's your truth. So now how can you detect which is your original truth? And your original truth will make you feel complete, holy. Otherwise it's like chasing dragons.
No,
So, yeah. And
that's interesting.
yeah, I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, that's it's okay. Go ahead. It's okay.
Mm. Well, so for instance, hmm, when we are talking about the artificial matrix and how all these timelines are collapsing, and what do we need to do, or what is it required from us to actually thrive and go to the next level, it is for me, one, restoring our connection to the primordial matrix. It simplifies your reality. It simplifies it because have you ever felt that you have like a jellyfish like sucking in one part, in a part of your body, like your brain or your back, and like you feel like it is like it is burning you?
Yeah, I get. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, that is the same thing that happens, or well, similar, what happens when you are deeply connected to the artificial matrix. It is sucking life energy from you, life force. And that life force is directed to generate sustainability in the harvesting control systems. And you can ask yourself, why the navel? It is the center of your body. It is what makes you rotate your sphere of truth, which is your plasma spherical body. And also because in the belly button is the point in our body where we have more nerves. So it's a hypersensitive spot, is where we were routed to our mother. It's how we are routed to the cosmic womb. And I just also want to say there is a huge difference in the cosmic womb and in between the primordial matrix, because I'm talking about, of course, matrix is womb, but when it comes to cosmic womb, we are accessing actually even, let's say, to a level closer to the source. When we're talking about primordial matrix, we are talking about a very specific configuration that, how I have received, is fundamental to go to the next level and transcending the anchors that keep humanity attached to the artificial matrix. So therefore, programs of religion, of economy, of well, let's say not to go there, but everything related to programs that are based on fear and on a survival mode collapse because you're detaching from them, from your navel, from your belly button. And then you can keep every day connecting to the primordial matrix. I do it in a very specific way with coordinates because the holographic field works through coordinates. So I have worked on a cyclic system, which is, let's say, putting together all the time systems throughout history: Mayan, Aztec, Chinese, Vedic, Hebrew, um, um, Sumerian, Egyptian, and even the Gregorian one. And I have created a system that actually, every time that you connect to the primordial matrix, it's not just through the intention, like saying, which is very, very valid. It's, but yet it's not just saying, okay, I'm connecting with the primordial matrix. That's one aspect of it. Yet when you're using coordinates, numerical values that are encoding the primordial matrix, then it's much more powerful. So
Wow.
yeah, and for instance, we were talking about um, precisely restoration and activation of your inner force center, and also about the 0 point energy, which is also another thing that I have received that is fundamental for us to do. So what is the 0 point energy? And the 0 point energy is, bottom line, neutrality. Accessing to that field of neutrality, that is fundamental to manifest whatever you want to manifest. If you want to manifest prosperity, if you want to manifest love, if you want to manifest bliss, if you want to manifest travels, uh, cars, whatever, houses, and so forth, when you do it from a neutral space, it manifests. What is a neutral space? You have the will to go for it, you're actioning. However, you're not coming from the need, which is different. Because accessing to the 0 point energy is traveling interdimensionally and take from the codes of that timeline where it has already happened and imprint them within you. So again, it's a deeper level of manifestation because you have felt, you have seen what it is like in that timeline that is already happening. It is already happening. So you bring codes and your energy from there to activate genetic codes within you that are in resonance with that timeline. And that starts to create a new pathway, not only with not a new combination within your DNA, and new or dormant neuronal pathways to start to create that reality. Because then you won't be fighting with you, like saying, hey, remember, stay positive. And you're all the day, going like rewind mode. Stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. No, now you are doing it in a natural way because you're not forcing it within your body. You have reached that and activated that combination within your DNA and your neurons, and bringing it to your present right here, right now.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. This is amazing stuff. Yeah. Wow. Should we get to some of the questions?
Sure, 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 sure.
And again, you guys can donate if you want. I'll put a link to donate in the description. I know Christy was first. Christy, as soon as Christy found out you were going to be on the show, I think
Hmm.
she's really excited about. Oh, I think everybody's excited about having you on tonight. So
Thank you. Likewise.
and it's really interesting what you were saying. It's definitely. I was getting the link here. Oh, I'll pull this up. So Christy's uh, question is right up here. I'll pull it up on the screen. Okay. She says she found a Chinese lady dragon altar aspect of hers. She's boss at the brothel on Mars. Then she woke up with a sore throat and achy fever. What else can she do to release this?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so thank you, Christy. What I have been witnessing at this moment is that a lot of, let's say, strong versions of ourselves being presenting to be integrated with filters, which is very important. Now that you're talking about an altar, for instance, what could that Chinese lady dragon have for you? And we know that we have just passed the year of the dragon, the Chinese year, of the dragon. So what I'm reading is that she needs for you to integrate very specific. Yeah, now I'm even feeling the throat now. Okay, so so she's asking for you to integrate some of the aspects that were not fully um, resolved throughout that year of the dragon. And those aspects, besides evidently being related to your throat, are some upgrades that she is facilitating to you with some Mars codes. So you're a very fiery woman. And that fire, okay, so I'm going to start, well, as you ask, I'm going to start reading some things. So, well, other things at a deeper level. So, for instance, you're a very fiery woman, and you have used perhaps in the beginning that fire would like burn a lot of things. So you learned how to to handle that fire within you. So perhaps now that fire needs to be used in a new way and not putting it down so much. Because when we're talking about, okay, fire, Mars, okay, warrior, okay, that warrior aspect of yourself, which at some point could have caused you some troubles, now the fact of using that warrior to, oh, interesting, that warrior to strengthen your heart and stop fearing and doubting about what you will be experiencing on the next stages to come, because there is like this field of uncertainty. So that fire will give you the certainty that you require to actually move forward and breach the pathway that will remove all those things that might not be clear, and that therefore for you to see clearly what is coming next. Because let's say that based on one of your life missions, the way that you can activate that uh, Chinese lady dragon, it's in a very specific pattern. It's like even some of these patterns you have decoded them in drawings. So if you intentionally connect with that feminine aspect, altar, when we talk about altar, is like the other side of the coin. We can, they give many connotations, but let's keep it simple. When you talk about an altar, you're talking about the other side of the coin. You need both sides of the coin, even though there can be many altars, but resolving one by one. So when you need the coin to spin, then you of course require both aspects, and it will be spinning so fast that those aspects fusion and they become one. You won't be able to detect which side of the coin is showing now. So that's the mastery of the unified consciousness. So for instance, with one, like, it's already present in some and codes that you have translated. However, if you connect specifically with that, you will receive like a very specific algorithm that you, as in your, it's as well, yeah, going for science, okay, by parts. So you can actually place it in your throat, because if your throat is sore, it's because you're containing very specific fire. However, remember, information is not good or bad, it's the way how we use it. And you can be using that fire for something very important, because there is something very important that is looking for you, a very deep connection. Yet you need to use that version, that expression of yourself as a bridge to connect with that which is looking for you. And that which is looking for you, it's a mastery, or let's say a whole new level of connection with very specific beings that will show to you how to activate very specific, it's like it is like vessels that restore the true nature of your fire plasma. And I see that it is in between a blue and a green plasma. So how could you use that plasma? And you could use that plasma in many ways. You can use that plasma to shield yourself. You can use that plasma to connect with infinite spheres of wisdom, of information related to wisdom. And there is also, I see, like a volcano are surrounded by water, that you need to connect with it, because if you bring that frequency, like with boundaries, of course, when I say integrate your that altered version of yourself, I say it, of course, with boundaries, and I will explain you now how I do it. Because for instance, if you bring that fire to with very specific codes on Mars to that volcano surrounded by water, it will be activating some dormant eggs of one of the founder dragons that placed them there. And in terms, like, I know this is perhaps too, like, a lot of cosmic information, yet how it would be reflected in your reality is not only hatching new projects, yet giving birth to them. And it will, it is related to something very disciplined. It's a very disciplined uh, field that you will be exploring and opening to. Um, yeah, and it also comes to me that at some point, you like all of us have our halo and our, of course, orc field. However, they have different geometries based on the resonance that we are emitting and to what stars and planets we are mostly connected with. So, for instance, when it comes to yours, I see that it has 8 spheres. So, let's say in connection to those 8 eggs, um, it will be igniting also the fullest spectrum of your halo. But it's also mostly related to a very specific soul mission that you have in relation to the founders and the dragons. And there were some agreements that were done at that moment with very specific galactic races, two mainly, which are grays, but not like the let's say the proactive ones, and so yeah, and Syrians. Hmm. Yeah. I also suggest you to practice activating your eighth chakra, which is located here in the upper part of your back part of your skull. There is your eighth chakra, and if you connect with that volcano and with the eggs and with that dragon and that uh, green blue plasma, greenish bluish plasma, it will help you a lot and it will connect you. And actually, that's how also you will get to settle the boundaries with that altar. Um, because why it came so strong to you to say it somehow through the throat and the fever was for you to notice that and actually, as I was saying, fever upgrade and throat to express that you have a huge power through your voice. It's perhaps it's not forcefully because you sing, also through the frequency of your voice. You can activate a lot. So if you start to announce those codes that you translate in connection with very specific ET races, you will be moving. Well, this is the phrase that comes: moving oceans as you move forward into your wholeness and beyond. Okay, and yeah, about the filtering, just to finish about the filtering. Um, like those boundaries, what I suggest you to do is, for instance, first placing yourself, like routing yourself to the detaching from your navel, from your belly button with the artificial matrix, and then visualizing how you are weaving through the plasma coming from your bloodstream that is encountering that epicenter of your belly button. It's extending, and within, this is very important, it's not going without, it's extending within this plasmic wormhole, weaving it and connecting you to the primordial matrix. Singularity, this is also very important, to the primordial matrix singularity. So you can imagine, like the core of a torus or a toroidal field, and that center point, that is the singularity that in between the poles A and B that construct the toroidal field axis. In that center point, you weave the other extreme of your wormhole, and once that is done, then you give the command that you create a plasma sphere around your body. You can do it like in a very just by command, or actually you can even start with the fire breath, like inhaling and exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling rapidly. And then when you feel that you're generating charge collapses in your energetic field, in your energetic body, then you hold your breath, hold it, hold it, hold it as deep, as deep, as deep as you can, and for as long as you can. And when you are almost, like you can't hold it anymore, you exhale it, yet exhale it at once. Not no, or even like you're popping something out, like, and then it's creating your plasma sphere, your plasma spherical body. And from that point, you can whether place yourself, like visualize yourself that you are transiting that wormhole that is interconnecting you from the primordial matrix, from the artificial matrix to the primordial matrix, and you're in that center point. And from there, you extend another wormhole that will connect you to that spatiotemporal constant where you saw your altar. Just before she sees you, like just. So then you create another plasma sphere in that event that will generate, that plasma will be so cold that will compress the molecular structure of all of that. And then you can actually start generating a vacuum force through that wormhole and bringing only the information that you require for your to embody the most evolved expression of yourself. And you command it, like you say. And then you start sucking that energy from you, the one that you require. And when you feel it's done, and you feel, I will send to you a frequency, which is actually the frequency of the wormhole. Like, for instance, you can close your eyes and, okay. I will send it anyway, but I will place it right now. I will play it right now. So for instance, as you're sucking all that energy, filtering just what you require, then you leave it resting before it enters your field, and you start to expand your heart vortex. You amplify it, focusing your thoughts only in bliss and neutrality. It's just information. You're not, this is very important, you're not identified emotionally to any of this. This is just information, energy that you are whether bringing into your field or not. And that's transferring your consciousness to a singularity, which is that 0 point energy. So you're just bringing information that is in resonance with you. It's in the event horizon. And now you allow it to access to your field when you're ready, when you feel like your heart is expanded enough. And remember, the more expanded the heart is, the more neutral you will feel, the more neutral you will feel. You can feel how your heart is this huge shell, ocean shell, that is unfolding infinitely, creating this huge sphere that is expanding through all your field and creating an absolute field of coherence. Therefore, magnetizing just what is in resonance to the most evolved expression of yourself. And then when you welcome it within your field through your heart, it will come first through your belly button, and as that's the point where you are connecting the wormhole to that sphere that you created to froze that event. And you are welcoming that information of yourself. And this is very, very important. With the code that you will receive that I mentioned, you will start tapping your body like in a Morse code, tapping your body with that frequency with that code that you received. And that means that you're integrating that information in full harmony and filling in and activating your DNA to its highest potential in relation to that to in relation to that altar. And yeah, this is why I suggest you to do it later, with more peace, because you need to translate first the the code that I was mentioning. And yeah, once you embrace it, once you welcome it within you, I suggest you to stay at least 7 days in that integration, which is acknowledging that information, doing that Morse code within the parts of your body that you feel that are active and receptive to that informational field. And super important, ground that information. What does ground mean? Grounding in this case means funneling all the energy that you're receiving and that you're integrating to the earth's core, and then receiving it back amplified in beauty, brightness, wisdom, and many more virtues. And also through those 7 days, when you finish that, you go back from that wormhole, um, like aligned to your body. You are now, you're in your reality. You ground all that information to the earth's core. And when you feel it's done for that day, you bring back your field, keep that sphere of plasma for 7 days, because you will be like in a cocoon, like integrating all that energy. So it's very important for you to protect yourself for those days. And therefore you will have nothing to be afraid of, because you will have fulfilled, or I'm not saying that you're afraid actually, but like you will have fulfilled the purpose of that transmission.
Wow, that
Uh,
was amazing.
I'm sorry, Rob. One last thing, and remove that plasma sphere that was freezing that event. That's also very important. Remove that sphere. You know, if you have any questions, I can also, like leave it to you in an audio. As I was saying, it is important for you to do it after, because you first need to translate that code.
Well, that was amazing. That was amazing. I hope that resonated with Christy, and I hope that answered her question. I think that was really amazing. Like, I was getting to the next one. The next one was Selena, but she didn't really have a question. She just said in general, like whatever you can feel from her. Let me just find Selena's picture here so I can put it up on the screen so you can kind of tap into her energy. Um, she's where is she? She's way in the back here.
Well, I can tell you already. I mean, you can show that the picture. It's okay. Thank you for doing that. But I can tell you already what
Where's
I
she?
am connecting with her, like what I'm tuning it with her. She's a very, of course, beautiful being. She is normally, it's easy for her to be out of the body, and she's so like you, Selena, love to envision things, and then you're very actually very good at it, you know, uh like coming with all these ideas and how things would could come together, and beautiful realities that could be manifesting. However, when it comes to the concretion part, it is like in between the transmission of your third eye, from your third eye to your root chakra, it it starts to dissipate in all that path. And the reason is that, hmm, well, I'm going to continue reading you because again, like thank you for writing, Selena. Uh, I won't go that deep unless you want, and you can write a message for that. But why it dissolves, like the intensity coming from the crown chakra and beyond, you know, and it starts fading away as soon as it goes through your throat and then all the way into your root chakra, is because sometimes you need to trust more in your voice. I know that you express things. The thing is that where do you express them from? Which space? It is like at some point, like they were already being hidden before trying to put them out. You know, it's like perhaps a very subtle part within you, like feeling that they won't reach where they need to reach because the receptors are not ready to receive that. But that has to do with something that, of course, soul memories, where your voice was banned, and there is like an overstimuli in relation to the waters. It is like perhaps also that huge level of empathy that you have could also be actually deviating your manifesting channel from all those amazing uh, constructions that you made from the abstract, and that's why they don't fully like ground into earth bases. And however, on the other side, to say it somehow, when it comes to that those waters that I see, hmm, you have the capability to enchant through your eyes. I'm not even uh yeah, yeah, I'm not looking at your picture. I'm just looking at your soul. So thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. And you have the capability actually to magnetize a lot through your eyes. You have this that fierce look. And at some point, it frightens you. Uh, so, whatever frightens you in relation to your power, it's related to mostly the same memory, which is trying to keep your voice because like that fear of being restrained again. And actually, you can project realities through your eyes. It's like you envision something and you look for a space to place that manifestation. And actually, you could do that. The thing is that you need to reinforce your your root chakra big time, and in that sense, to ground it. And a huge key is that when we're talking about chakras and the colors of the chakras, the original color of the chakra, and which is to be acknowledged nowadays when it comes to the root, is blue color, not red. The red color was placed to actually accelerate the process of reproduction, like the heartbeat. Pa, 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 pa. Reproduce, 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 reproduce. Now they're trying to ban that. But anyway, or I don't know. But anyway, when it comes to the original waters, it's our origin. We come from water. So you can use that fact to actually connect both universes, the one that you are at right now and the one where you're bringing all that information. And a way to do that, to create that bridge, is through, of course, your sensual energy. I would say sexual, but it's more sensual. It's like as sensual as the waters move. And don't be af- I mean, if you're afraid, don't be afraid of what you see through your eyes. Because even if you stare at yourself in the mirror, you can go into that universe, and perhaps that can be overwhelming from all that power that you could perceive. It's like this force of creation, like a very simple example. Um, is there anything else, Selena, that you want to? Oh, now I see your picture. Okay, that's nice. I guess. Huh. Okay. Well, Selena, if you want something else now, looking at your picture, you have also like to practice your voice. But this, I say, it is not only to express yourself, also chanting. You have mere codes there, so yeah, be open to explore them. It will be beautiful. And it would be actually igniting and activating, awakening that sensual power within you to manifest and concrete what you see in the abstract, put together in a construct in the holographic field, and then bring it into this reality. And yeah.
Issa, real quick,
Yes.
she said she wanted to ask about her soul's origin. I put it up on the. I just put it up now. I just found. I saw it in the comments. I figured I would put it up. I guess she wants to know a little bit about her soul's origin. If you could tell her.
Well, sure. As I have mentioned, she has something of mare. Definitely, I see, I perceive. Hmm. There is also a frequency of one of the moons of Jupiter. Is it Jupiter? Yes. And also another planet quite in resemblance to the frequency of Venus. So for now, I see those three. You are also, well, no, I'm talking more about your origin. Uh, so you can talk to the water and encode it. Not only the water that you drink, as everyone can, but also, like, if you go to the ocean, you can speak to the ocean and the ocean will speak back at you with frequencies, and you can actually be integrating those frequencies in your throat. Because that's one of the most empowering origins that you have in your multidimensional body. Um, hmm. Somehow, this is, I must say that this is the first one, the first time that I received this message. So thank you for that. That if you grow your hair long, it will actually amplify the the sensorial capabilities that you have in the receptors that each one of your hair is of your that your hair is. And I see you that you were sent in a pod. I see you being sent in a pod. And that is coming from the mirror connection. And it's like somehow that planet, perhaps that planet was going through a really tough moment, and they needed to send few of you to Earth. Then I see you. After arriving to Earth, I see you evolving as a species, because then you were capable to go on Earth. You know, you didn't stay in water. Then you evolved also. Let's say some you were capable to shift your molecular structure and be capable to be on Earth as well, walking on Earth. And corals is something that can actually enable part of those memories, like, you know, like the corals, if you find. And well, that's about the mare one. About the other ones, the one that is very related to Venusian frequency, Venus frequency, that is quite related to the Hathors. Hathors. And the Hathors, they say, well, and they some of them came from Venus, yet they're also water beings, not as they are shown, as cow beings. No, they're water beings. So there is a huge connection that you have with the water. Uh, what else? Mm, well, I don't know. I don't know if you have any other question, any other specific thing that you want to ask about.
I think that was it. I could give her the four. I could give her see if she says anything. No answer. She said you're very soothing.
She says that what?
Third Eye Tribe said that. Well, she said there. They said your voice. Third Eye Tribe said your voice is so soothing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, she says no. That's it. She says thank you very much.
Okay. Well, Selena, if you want, you can reach out to me on private, and I can be sending to you a frequency that is based on the Hathors. There is like a lot of technology that you can be activating in your molecular structure of water, and then bring a lot of manifestation and find that which you are looking for. That will help you to find what you're looking for.
That's amazing. I'll get to some of the super chats now. Let me see if there's any more. This is from Patricia. She's from Australia. She said as a super sticker, but she didn't say what her question was.
Oh,
I guess I could ask her now.
sure.
Um, Trish, what's your question? If you're still with us in the audience, I mean, she should be with us. Um, Trish has been really nice. She's been trying to help heal me as well. She's been really
Oh,
helpful.
yeah, she's amazing. She's
She says,
beautiful.
"General, tune in, please." I'll put up her picture. She says,
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I see a lot of, like black cords coming out of your vertebral column, like detaching from you. And I see a huge vortex of, this is interesting. It is like a step uh wave. It's not triangular, it's not synodal, it's not curved. It is actually like stepped, like the step pyramid. That frequency is coming to you, to the bottom part of your coccyx, which means that you are at this moment going through a huge transition and upgrade of some interesting shamanic version of yourself. And by this, I mean that you, like, through the next stage of your life, you are being invited to connect with the spirit of the earth and see the magic that you can create actually through that. It will inspire you because you're now in a stage where you are being inspired by the beauty. It's like you are writing, like you're let's say um you're writing a song of the beauty that you see. You're transmitting in notes the beauty of what you see. And that, in relation to the to a shamanic approach of your virtues, is that they're showing to me a lot of birds, like yellow and orange birds. And we see the frequency of the yellow and the orange. It is related to, of course, the inner sun, that you're also completing a cycle with your sun, not the solar one, but like your biological sun. And then, in relation to the sun, the solar one, um, that frequency that you are capable to, if you connect with the consciousness of the birds, they will be actually delivering to you a lot of messages. Imagine that you're listening to the birds sing, and for every chant that they are emitting, for every frequency that they are emitting, it is activating a part in your solar plexus, because you are being required to connect with the solar discs. It is like a part of Sirius is calling you in now. And perhaps that's why the connection also with the shamanism and in relation to Peru. That's why also your openness with the heart, because you have been always very connected with the heart and the beauty of the heart. So now, connecting at a deeper level with the nature, but that spirit of the nature, that shamanic aspect of it, and even communicating with the birds. And why the birds so much? Because then again, it's like a song, it's a frequency, it's a melody. And you work with melodies with your fingertips. You work with melodies. So now the birds are opening their consciousness for you to reach even at a higher level. So you can even perhaps be searching for the frequencies of the birds, in at the internet, and start to connect at a deeper and at a deeper level, because they will be upgrading you a lot. And it is also related to one of the versions of yourself as a bird species. It's a hybrid. And again, it's connected to the sun as a solar rays. And like, you can actually, I'm sorry, I was looking at but anyway, you can actually connect with the black hole in the sun and to transmute a lot. Like, it will be blessing you to transmute whatever you want through that black hole, because in your encoding you have a gateway there. You have traveled there in other versions of yourself to the sun's black hole. So it is a way that you can actually um, master again, to transmute a lot, and like in a very earthly basis and in a more cosmic one, to travel through there and go to, perhaps, let's say, Sirius, one of them, because your family. Hmm. you will see another aspect of yourself and connect it again to your sun, but not the solar one, to your sun. Um, what else? I see a lot of plasma coming through your fingertips. So there is also an invitation to empower the rainbow plasma in your fingertips, which mainly is activating the black hole in the center of your hand palm, and then creating a vortex that activates the seven colors in each one of your fingertips. It's creating a symphony through your fingertips. It can be in many ways. It can be like you can be touching, you can be writing, you can be clapping, you can be doing whatever you want to do, but just be very aware of what you're transmitting through your fingertips. And fingertips and fingerprints. What else? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I see there is a little bit of transition also going in your throat chakra. It's kind of related to what I said from the very beginning. And hmm. Well, this is also a message. Connect the red dots in your throat, which is very interesting. But yeah, it says connect the red dots in your throat and pull them back into your heart. Okay.
I love that. That was amazing. That was really deep. We just have two more. This was Azek and Ashley Lynn Ames. This is Azek, and thank you for being a member for 9 months, Azek. He says, "Reading, please, if we have time, if we have any time, for manifesting my most and highest optimal timeline of energy, frequency, and vibrations." He says.
Please, if we have any time for manifesting my most. Okay. Awesome. Sure. Okay. So, well, perhaps all the ones that are watching the show want to jump on that. And yeah. I will put a frequency now.
I love how you have these frequencies. These are amazing. Like
I have a library of frequencies, right, Rob? Well, I've discovered that with frequency, we can actually manifest whatever. It's just, as vain as this, you're watching a movie, let's say a horror movie, you cover your ears and you won't be spooked out at all. You will just be like, okay, that's not scary at all. You start listening again to the music in the movie, and then you will feel how your heart is accelerating, how you're starting to segregate adrenaline and so forth. It's because of the frequency. They're super powerful. If they
wow.
can levitate, the sake. And people think that most people think that frequency is just by the sound, but of course it's the way that we measure sound. However, for instance, even the water can capture the frequency coming from our field without speaking, just by being, and it will replicate it. It will replicate through its memory our shape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to just make this your last one, and then it's up to you. We have one more after this, but we can. I can have you on again this month if you want, and I can do. 'Cause I know the ones you got into are really long, so it's up to you. Like if you feel up to it, we can do it. But if you'd rather wait till next time, it's up to you too. It's
Well, what we could be doing, Isaac, is that uh, we can do a very powerful one, like a very super powerful one, like a connection and activation of this, perhaps next show if you want. And then we have time to actually for people to join in so that they can all connect to that optimal and highest timeline of all energy, frequency, and vibrations. And for now, what I can give is like a few hints for him to start opening his field for that to be. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be good. And then we had Ashley Lynn Ames too, but she gave me a super sticker. I'm not sure what her question was. She just this is her this is her picture right here. This is a statue, but I know she's highly targeted. So I'm not sure what her I think her question was she was concerned about the music program MK Often, which is like MK Ultra for the music industry. I think that
Yeah.
was what her question was regarding, you know? So those were the last two we had for the night.
Okay. So, well, in relation to that last one, what I do suggest is that, for instance, if you get shungites and you put that into your water, it will help you to remove those frequencies from the MK Ultra that are normally, delivered everywhere. The shungites, it's impressive. It's impressive the power that it has. Imagine that even the animals that are outside those caves leak the shungites when they want to cleanse their field. You know, s-
Really? The
yes,
animals lick the shungite?
yes, yes.
They know. They know.
They
That's
know, they
crazy.
know, they know. Instead of eating grass, like the dogs or the cats when they are purging themselves, they lick the shungite because they know the properties that it has. And for instance, because it's a fullerene, and if we see a fullerene at a chemical level, the fullerene are the geometrical structures that create the spheres. It's not that you are watching like a chain of carbon, like carbon 6 and the protein coming together, and at a bidimensional level. No, the fullerenes are the full third dimensional figure. They're a sphere. They're quite entangled, so they are super carbons. That's why they are called fullerenes, and they're superconductors. That's why most of the nanotechnology is made of that. So it's like you used a little bit of the very same thing that they use as a venom to create the antidote. So when you take that the shungite, it helps a lot. You can even
What about
wear
C60? Do you know about C60? Because that's a fullerene as well.
the C60. I hadn't heard about it. Tell me more.
It's a supplement. It's a they call it they also call it they have a nickname for it. I can't remember what it is, but it's called C60.
Mm,
It's supposed to be like a super antioxidant. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I do remember now seeing it at some point. Well, all the fullerenes, the thing is that they are superconductors. They are very efficient geometries that are directly entangled at a more coherent level with the space-time fabric. So the level of energy that you get to receive from those is one of the purest ones. So
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I used to do, I used to let my shunga. I have a piece of it right here. I don't know what I did with it, but I used to put it out in the sun, and then or let it sit on the windowsill so it would get sun, and then I would put that in my water. I had a piece of real it was real smooth shungite, so it wouldn't leak in the water, or I mean you know what I mean. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
it would anyway, but I mean the piece I had was pretty nice. So I would let that sit in the sun, and then I would put that in my water, and it seemed to give me energy. It seemed to be somewhat energetic. Now I'm looking for that piece because yeah, I might just order some tonight. I didn't realize it was that powerful.
It is, and actually, as I told you, it dissolves big time the interferential waves coming from the technology as the MK Ultra. No, you can also you can find it in many ways. I also suggest you to put it in your third eye due to the very same thing. It helps. You know, because of all the blockages that can be created from those waves that are used, and yeah, that is one thing to do. And another thing super powerful that I suggest, whenever you can, find isochronic frequencies, not the ones that they have, for instance, like the gamma waves, and they have the dolphin, and they have the whale, which is beautiful because they have also like a very powerful frequency. Yet but they could help more for visualizations or very specific meditations. Yet when you want to cleanse your field, if you look for isochronic frequencies, epsilon, gamma, alpha, theta, delta, and so forth, lambda, you can use them with earphones, just like loud, for, let's say, 15 minutes. Just receive the frequency. When you remove the earphones, you will feel your brain boom, 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 because it's doing its work, it's doing it. So it's restoring it. And that's the thing. What these kind of technologies, what they do is they enhance the lack of connection to the space memory network. So if we see which are the main parts in our brain that are related to the connection to the space memory network, of course, all our receptors, our neural receptors. However, if we shall detect an epicenter, it's mostly located in the hippocampus, which is in the central part of our brain, and then connecting to this part, the ventral striatum. So all those waves are aligning and syncing back again those parts in our brain to the connection to the space memory network. So that is the most available thing that you could do, perhaps, because it's handy, it's easy to find, and you can be giving a response to those waves that can try to interfere in your field. And the last one, which is like super important, but it can be a little bit more complex. When we acknowledge the implications of having our plasma body active, we don't have to worry about anything else. Why? Our plasma body can be a shield. It's a sphere, a shield made of coherence. And coherence reflects and actually deflects anything that could be coming to you, because it's facing a barrier of coherence. That's plasma coherence, a very specific frequency that you emit and sustain, and it's creating the
how do you activate your plasma body like that?
well, for instance, how I do it in the teachings and in the online courses that I am facilitating, it is a very specific process in which first you retrieve your energy by detaching from very specific anchors that were placed in all humans, holographically speaking. So whether if it's in relation to your chakras, dantians, your joints, your 13 joints, implants, and then soul parts, retrieving soul parts, also retrieving your energy from egregores like the depth of life, because all of those are draining your energy. So if you want to activate your plasma body, it will be like, so then you need to retrieve all your energy, or the most part of your energy that you can, to actually generate that full ignition of your plasma sphere. So for instance, the plasma body helps you to shield yourself. For instance, if you go to bed and you're worried to be like trapped down or be soaked, your energy being soaked and so forth, if you activate your plasma body before going to sleep, you will see the difference, how you will wake up. So it helps you to shield yourself in a very specific way, because there are different patterns of the lattices of the space memory network. So each pattern of lattice serves for something specific. It helps you to regenerate, rejuvenate, free energy, because your mitochondria are functioning at a much higher level, coherent level. It also upgrades your DNA into its luminous state as plasma fluid. I also go through that other aspect, which is activating your expanders, which are those proactive implants. And then, of course, activating your plasma body, the core, and the brain. So if you want to do it in a basic way, Rob, for instance, what you can do is to start connecting and communicating with your plasma, like saying, like, hey, I know that you are there, so I know that you constitute 50% of every drop of blood in my bloodstream, like purely speaking. So connecting with that plasma and then commanding it, like saying, okay, I need you to do this for me, to start regenerating this. I need to start you doing this, and feel how that plasma sense that plasma. How does it feel? And then you can route it actually. And if you haven't retrieved all your energy, you can be routing it to the plasma of the stars, by connecting with very specific star systems and asking them to exchange some of their plasma, and you can exchange some of your plasma, like as you are, imagine like the exchange, like the DNA exchange from junk DNA, which is non-coding DNA, and awakening that and putting into dormant DNA that you don't need anymore, like encoding DNA that you don't need anymore. So it's that exchange. Someone will find it useful, you don't find it useful anymore, but another consciousness will. And that's the universal exchange. So you can also tune into those star systems to expand your plasma field. What else? Yeah, it's an easy way. That's the easiest way to do, to start relating to your plasma. And actually what we can do next time, like also to honor the comment of Isaac, we can do I can do something for the plasma body, and in the meantime, for Isaac, I hope I'm pronouncing properly your name. Um, the to start manifesting your best timeline, in the meantime that we meet again in another show, I will ask from you to write what would be the best timeline for you to embody right here, right now. And from that, you can do three variants. You can do an unlimited one, like even saying, okay, flying to take my spaceship and, like just go from planet to planet or a galaxy to galaxy. That unlimited one. It can be another one, which is more directed to apply it to who you are right now and what you want to embody in this daily life basis. And another one, which is the communion of them both, of the other two ones. So you can do it as well, Rob, if you want, and whoever is watching this show, write it, those three variants that you want to manifest, and we will do something very powerful for that.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Well, wow, we've been going about almost 2 hours. So, do you want to tell people where they can find you? And thank you. You said this is amazing.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you for everything that you are doing. You go all the way. So thank you also for supporting Rob, by sending donations, because if we can access to the information and meet each other, it's because of the role that Rob is doing. So yeah, let's thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah,
And
thank
may
you.
you
And thank you
continue
anybody
to
who donated.
receive
I
many
appreciate
support.
it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you. So okay. Where people can find me is my email, omnivision.hunuh at outlook.com. I will now open a new one, unified consciousness at gmail.com, which is an easier one, I know. And yeah, www.hunuh slash in the middle acna.com for my website. I'm finishing upgrading all the information, so then you can see all the courses that I offer right now, as a plasma body activation, luminous DNA activation and time travel, interdimensional travel, source code translation, and of course private sessions. And yeah, also soon my frequencies will be in Spotify, and yeah, my YouTube channel, Isha Arsate Bien, and my Facebook, Isha Arsleep. How
Thank you so
people
much.
can reach you,
Oh, I'm
Rob?
the Typical Skeptic podcast. You guys can find me everywhere. But like, what I wanted to say was, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman asked. He said, did we see that Sean David Morton passed away? You got to go on my Rumble channel, Sovereign. I did a 4-hour compilation of my interviews with Sean David Morton. All three of them I put together into a 4-hour compilation, and I did that dedicated to Sean. So you guys aren't on my Rumble. That's one place you can find me. Is go on my Rumble channel, rumble.com/typical skeptic. And because that may be the future. I don't know how long YouTube's going to let me stay on here. So I mean, I've been posting real base, like I haven't been posting anything controversial. So it's all good. But yeah. Thank you so much, Issa. This is amazing. Everybody's so happy in the chat. Like, everybody loved your readings, and thank you so much. This is awesome.
Thank you everyone for watching this show. Thank you, Rob, again, and looking forward to see you again and share a super powerful activation for you all. And yeah, thank you. It was beautiful.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks, Issa. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.